that indeed if you indicated that you were called to correct some of the forms you submitted in the last GFA elections. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is true.
When was this done? After you submitted, how many days was it done before the elections?
Probably at least. I have to think about it because the thing is, we had vetting.
Yes,
we had vetting,
yes.
so it must have been before the vetting. Because we would have submitted our forms by then, so it must have been before the vetting.
And there were obvious errors in the forms you submitted, and you were called to correct those errors.
It wasn't obvious errors because you have to understand this point.
Okay.
From the candidate's point, no list is provided to say, out of all these clubs, these are the only people capable of signing. So you've got people of very high rank. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you have absolutely no idea that GFA will only accept signatures from like 2 people per organization.
Okay.
So that's what I was suggesting on the weekend to another radio station that could be cured. They said, oh, but if they make an exception for free, then that means it can happen all the time in future. And I said, no, you make this one exception because he's the only one running against him. And then from next 4 years, the forms it was $1,000 for the forms when I was doing it, so it's probably more now. So that $1,000, we got nothing, to pick up the forms, the equivalent. And so they could have an attachment to those forms saying these are the only signatories for this year. And this is
you're saying more of a guideline to the form so that you are guided by those guidelines.
Of course. It's a very simple, because this is all about leadership. Leadership is, can the issue be cured on a procedural level, and then you introduce future procedures, on the back of that, and then you get on with it. Do you see what I mean? So the whole thing didn't have to go to election committee again to review what another committee had done. And then now it's potentially going to the High Court. It's potentially going to CAS. It's potentially going to make him look like he's unopposed and, slightly dictatorish, even though he's following procedure. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You can just, if you're a true leader, you cure things at a procedural level. And then you say, oh, so this is why it happened. Because we charged them $1,000 for the forms, and we don't even do them the courtesy of attaching the only 2 people per club for this year that can be a signatory. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are things that are easily cured. These are things that were easily addressed when I was running. The normalization committees thought, obviously, maybe she didn't know that the person didn't have rank, and the person acted as if they had rank. That's why they signed it. And so they said, we give you 24 hours to cure this. I fulfilled that. And then thereafter, I think it was vetting. Do you see what I mean?
Wow.
So it doesn't have to be made such a big deal that all these committees have to meet, all these reappeals, and then High Court, and then Switzerland and CAS, when you can cure it now, go to election and be the lead candidate because he's the incumbent. For me, that's what I would have done.